Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here because it's obvious that you're eager to learn about buying your first home, and my goal is to answer all the questions you may have about that exciting and sometimes anxious process. It's a wonderful step you're taking toward achieving the ultimate dream, owning your own home. You'll be laying a foundation for your financial future and setting the tone for your personal lifestyle. Let's get started. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Mike McCarthy, and I'm with Keller Williams Complete Realty in Hamilton, Ontario. My professional career spans over 20 years in accounting, banking, and entrepreneurship. And over the course of my career, I've served literally thousands of staff that worked for me, customers, business partners I worked with and on behalf of. And I used an ability to listen and be compassionate while also being tough and detailed in negotiations and contracts while working on the rehabs, and also, when it was time to solve problems, being able to think creatively and while always keeping the ultimate goal in mind of keeping what's best for the people I was working for at the top of everything. And these are all skills that have transferred extremely well into my career in real estate and working on behalf of my clients. I live in the Kirkendall neighborhood of Hamilton with my wife Rebecca and my two boys, Grady and Nolan. I really love being a realtor, and I love helping people like yourself buying their first homes. My passion is helping you get what you need when you need it and in the best way possible. You're watching this seminar today to get your questions answered, so I've put together a presentation that helps answer 99% of the typical questions asked by first-time homebuyers, and we'll get started on that in a minute. So just 99%. What about the other 1%? That's a great question. At the end of the seminar, I'll let you know all of the ways you can contact me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that we might not cover here. So what we're going to do is cover these topics that'll address many of your questions, specifically in terms of why it's a great time to buy in Hamilton today. We're going to go over some fears versus facts about buying a home and the realities of our market here today in Hamilton, and then the next steps for you to take in your home buying journey. So first, let me dispel some misconceptions about buying a home. First one, I can't afford to buy a home right now. Well, until you do the math, you don't know what you can or can't afford. Are you paying rent? If so, you may be able to buy a home. You'll be putting your rent toward paying for your own home and not somebody else's. And we'll walk through the math later in the presentation on that. Number two, I should wait until the market gets better. There is never a bad time to buy the right home. My job is to help you find a good buy and ensure you have the financial ability to hold on to it. Every market has opportunity. It just may be harder to find in those markets at certain times. But over the long time periods, the investment in your home grows no matter what the market. Number three, I don't have the money for a down payment. Well, there are a variety of down payment options available to you. There are loan programs for first-time buyers with down payments as low as 5%. First-time home buyers are allowed to withdraw up to $25,000 from their RRSPs to put towards a down payment. And when thinking you have to wait to save up for a down payment may actually cost you money due to delaying all the financial benefits of home ownership. Number four, I can't afford to buy my dream home. The best way to get closer to buying your dream home is to buy your first home. Use your first home as a forced savings plan for your future dream home. The first home you buy is not necessarily going to be the one you're going to live in forever. There's another fear that some first-time buyers have, and that's the fear of commitment. It is a big commitment, and remember that you're never without a way out. If it doesn't end up being right for you, you can sell, or you can rent it out and have somebody else pay the mortgage, like you might be doing now for somebody. So those are the major ones. If you have any other misconceptions you've heard, please make a note and send them to me, and we can discuss them at another time. So, why buy now? While home ownership can be the best, quote, accidental investment, and with a little knowledge of investments, can also be a great intentional investment. My job is to help you understand these factors that affect your investment and make it intentional. I'll get into more detail on these throughout the session. But number one, right now, interest rates continue to remain low. So interest rate, of course, is the price you pay to borrow money from the bank to pay for your home. In the last 30 years, the Bank of Canada's 1-year fixed mortgage interest rates have ranged from 14.25% in 1990 to 2.89% in 2015. In the last 5 years, rates have remained in the 2.89 to 3.49 range. There's no guarantee that rates will stay this way because they can always change, but that's what they're at right now. Number two, equity. Equity is the value of your home, which can grow every year as the value of your home increases. This little diagram down here just shows a standard house, that over the span of 30 years, equity in that home grows from $15,000 to $486,000 for a couple of reasons. Your home's value can increase, and that's called appreciation. And your loan amount decreases as you pay it off, and this is called debt pay down, meaning you owe less on the value of your home, thereby the equity in your home grows. Number three, buying your home it's definitely an emotional decision. As they say, home is where the heart is. But a home, it represents your personal tastes and provides a haven of stability and security for both you and your loved ones. And it represents pride of home ownership because it's yours. So if you can do it right now, don't delay in buying your first home. Every month you wait can bring increases in interest rates or home prices or both. Now let's take a little look at owning versus renting. Why pay rent when you can own? If you took out, let's use this example here. If you took out a 30-year fixed mortgage rate for $250,000 and made monthly mortgage payments of $1,200, you would pay $435 in mortgage and interest payments over the life of that loan. And after 30 years of appreciation, you'd own a home with an appreciated value potential of nearly $600,000 at a very modest 3% annual appreciation. And keep in mind, appreciation rates vary greatly based on local conditions. Typically more than 3% a year on average over long terms, but let's use 3% to be conservative for this example. Now compare that to paying $1,200 a month in rent over 30 years. Even if your landlord never raised rent over that entire 30-year span, and we know that's not going to happen, but even if they didn't, you still would be spending $432,000 over that span of time, and you would own nothing. So that's a pretty compelling argument to own versus rent. Now, I don't want to pretend that it's always the right time to buy, because that simply isn't true for everybody. There's some reasons not to buy as well. You might be changing your job soon, and this could affect your ability to get a loan because sometimes lenders will want 2 years of employment records with one company. That can happen. If your credit score is not great, or you have a lot of debt or not enough of a down payment, all of these factors will affect your ability to get a loan and at a good rate. When your choices to buy are simply out of your budget, you don't want to end up spending all of your money on mortgage payments and be house poor. However, factor in your potential for income growth, especially if you're new in your career, and if you expect your income to grow pretty rapidly, it might be a good decision to live a little tight for a year or two, get in when the market is right for you, and then in a few years when you're making more money, it won't be so tight on your budget. Another reason is if you're planning to move again soon, you may not have enough time to build enough equity in that home to make it worthwhile, because you do have to factor in the cost of selling, which, roughly can be about 7.5% of the price of the home. Now let's take a look at the Hamilton market. Right now the median home price in 2018 so far is $470,000 for all types of homes combined. That's detached, semi-detached, condos, apartments, just any type of home. That is the median price so far in 2018. The buyers versus sellers market, it's a measure of supply and demand. How many houses are available for sale at any given time and the number of buyers. Our market right now is the best buyer's market since 2014. So this means, over the past 4 or 5 years, right now, supply's up and demand is down. So buyers have a little more choice than they've had in the last few years. They can take some time looking for what's right for them and possibly even wait, to get a good deal on a house. Also, interest rates remain really low. Right now, you can find 5-year mixed mortgage rates generally between 3 and 3.5%. If you have really good credit, and if you qualify for that, it could be a little higher if circumstances don't make you a AAA loan applicant. But nevertheless, interest rates still are very, very low. And also, Hamilton is growing. It's been around, the growth rate in Hamilton's been around 0.75 of a percentage point per year over the past 3 years, but that's expected to increase to about 1% a year through to 2030. And that means the city's going to get bigger and faster than it's been accustomed to, which eventually leads to higher home values. So all these factors make it a great time to buy now, if you can. And that's the conclusion for this seminar. If you can do it, like I said, if you can do it, this is a really good time to buy. It may not be feasible for you at this time financially, but if it is, I really suggest that you think strongly about, maybe I should delay. No, I think this is a good time to go for it. So what do we do next? Next, I suggest that you watch the next webinar in this series for first-time home buyers, and it's called the 6 Steps to Home Ownership. If you're on my page, just look below, and I'll have a link to get you directly to that video. You can also sign up for listing alerts on my website, MikeMcCarthyRealty.com. Just go to the Buyers tab. It's at the top of the page, kind of on the left side. Click on Find Your Dream Home, and then complete and submit that short form, and we'll have you up and running in no time. If you have any questions for me about this seminar or anything else, feel free to contact me via phone or email. You can also click the contact tab on any link, any page of my website. There's a contact link wherever you are. So thanks again for your time. I hope that you learned something today, and that you had some questions answered for you, and you're a little more clear and focused on whether this is the right time for you to buy. If you have any questions, give me a shout, whichever way is convenient for you, and I look forward to hearing from you. And good luck in your journey, and hope that we can connect soon.